everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a video all about periods and just experiences that I've had with them. I really like doing these types of videos because I always get questions and requests from you guys to talk more about, body issues and things that girls deal with, and I want to seem like a big sister to you guys, someone that you can talk to and feel safe, and you can ask me questions if you want to hear my advice or my own personal experiences, because I know that not every girl has like a friend or a parent or an older sister to talk to, and there are a lot of things, especially when you're growing up, that you may have questions about and you may want to hear about, but you don't know who to exactly ask these questions to. So I hope you can think of me as someone like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump into the questions that you guys have for me. So the first question came from Jenny, and she said, when did you get your period? How old were you? So I was 13. I was in 7th grade, I believe, and it was at cheerleading tryouts, which was quite the experience. And I have to say, the whole experience ended up not being that bad, but at the time it felt just crazy, and I was super nervous about it and upset about it, and I kind of thought it was the end of the world, but it definitely wasn't. I am alive and well here today, so definitely you can get through getting your period. Trust me, it's really not that bad. The biggest thing for me was just not being prepared, I think, and that's kind of, I guess, the scariest part, that you never know kind of when it's gonna happen. But I do have a whole video about getting my period and that whole story if you want to hear me talk about cheerleading tryouts and realizing that I had my period and what I did and all that stuff. I'll go ahead and link that video below and you can check it out. The next question comes from Kendall, and she says, what's your most awkward experience with getting your period, getting it unexpectedly? And I've definitely had this happen as well, and I think it's pretty common when you're younger, especially when your periods may be a little bit irregular, maybe you don't know your cycle and your body as well. And this happened when I was a sophomore in high school, and so I'd had my period for a few years, but one night I randomly got it, and it happened to be homecoming, and I had this white dress on. It had like really pretty beading. I had my hair and makeup all done. I was really tan. I was just super excited for the homecoming dance. I thought it looked great. But like I said, I did have a white dress on. Now, thankfully, throughout the night, my stomach kind of hurt a little bit, but nothing major. And then once we got to the after party, which actually was at a boy's house, I went to the bathroom and I realized that I got my period. And I was still in my homecoming dress. I was kind of freaking out because none of my friends had tampons or pads with them. And I ended up actually having to ask the boy's mom, who was at the house, obviously, if I could have like a pad or a tampon. And I told her I started my period unexpectedly and I wasn't prepared for that. And I think she actually felt really bad for me and kind of thought it was like cute and endearing that I was so like upset and uptight about this, because it's such a normal thing. It happens to girls all the time. And from then on, I kind of learned to always have an extra pad or tampon in my purse just in case, whether I would need it or a friend would need it. But with that, I also began to bring a jacket to school. And this was kind of something I did anyways, but this incident kind of made me think about it a little bit more, so that at school, if I ever was wearing like white shorts or white jeans or a skirt or whatever, and I was worried that maybe I would get my period and it would go through my clothing, I would always have a jacket in my bag so I could just tie it around my waist. And that's a really good tip, I think, as well, if you do happen to get your period unexpectedly. I do want to go ahead and talk about an app though that I think is really helpful with tracking your period and not getting that little unexpected surprise. And it's an app called Clue, and it's free at the Apple Store, and you can get it for iOS, Android, or the Apple Watch. And basically it's a period tracker, so it's pretty cool. You put in your information, so the last day of your period, how long your period lasts, when your last period was, your PMS symptoms, if you get really bad cramps or you don't. You can also insert some like sexual activity information, and it can help you know which days are most likely for you to get pregnant, your most fertile window, and it helps you just track your period. You can also set it up so if you are on birth control and you would like it to send you like push notifications to take your pill every day, you can do that as well. And the really cool thing is, the more information you put in it about your period in your own body, the more accurate the app actually becomes, and the better it can be at detecting when your PMS is going to start, when your period is projected to start, when it's supposed to end, and all that kind of stuff. So it's great if you're trying to like plan around your period, or you have a boyfriend and you are sexually active and you want to know the days that you are most likely to get pregnant if you are actively having sex, and all that kind of stuff. It's just very good for taking control of your own health and your body and being knowledgeable and knowing things about your body that you should know as a woman and as a girl and just anyone with a period, obviously. So I'll go ahead and link Clue below, and I think you definitely should check it out and download it because it's a great app and very useful. The next question comes from Rachel, and this kind of fits in with what I was talking about with the Clue app, where you can put in like your own PMS symptoms if you do get really bad cramps, if you get moody, if you get really emotional, or whatever your personal symptoms happen to be. Putting that into the app can really help it just become more accurate and really know your own body and your specific cycle. But as far as period cravings that I get, I would say I don't really crave like chocolate like a lot of girls do. I definitely crave like fruit, which might be a little bit weird, and then anything salty. I'm much more of a salty fan rather than a sweet fan. So if I was given like a cupcake or a bag of chips, I would much more want the chips, and especially if I'm on my period, I really crave salt a lot more. I really don't get that bad of cramps, although I know a lot of girls do, and I know that can be a big reason for girls wanting to go on birth control because it can help with cramps, I've heard, if you do have really severe ones. Now, something I will mention about birth control, I went off it for a period of time, and I did notice my skin really reacted. And typically I don't feel like I have bad skin. I've never really struggled with acne or anything, but definitely when I went off birth control, I did notice around my period time getting a lot more breakouts than I normally would when I was on birth control. So I am back on it, and I realized for me that was something that was a big difference, and that might be a deciding factor in you wanting to get on birth control, wanting to talk to your doctor about it, or your parents. If you are struggling with acne or hormonal acne that pops up around your period, you might want to do some research on that. Karina says, what are the best things to comfort you when you're on your period? This is a great question because I think this is really cute because, you know, periods are just a thing of life. You have to deal with them. They kind of suck, but, you know, just being a woman. So I would say when I'm on my period, I'm very emotional, like not in like a crazy dramatic way or anything, but like I'll be watching a commercial about like a car, and it's like a family like getting into the car and like going on a road trip, and I'll just kind of start to like tear up. And it's so funny because I can tell like really when my period's about to start because everything just is a bit more like sentimental to me, even when it's kind of not. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys, but I always find it funny. I would say my favorite movie to watch when I'm on my period would be Titanic. It's a classic. I also really love The Spectacular Now with Miles Teller. Great movie. I feel like not enough people have seen it. It's an amazing love story, but it's very real and raw, and I feel like the characters, you probably know someone like each character, which is the really cool thing, because when I watched it, I was like, you know, each person in this movie, like I know someone in real life that is exactly like this. So you really kind of can identify and connect with it in that way, and it's much more like realistic than like a cheesy romance movie where you kind of just feel like, oh, this would never happen. You know, I can't imagine this happening to someone. I think it's definitely not like that, so it makes it much more enjoyable, but it's a great movie if you want to just have a girls' night and just kind of, you know, take it easy when you're on your period and you're in the mood for something kind of like a love story. And then as far as music when I'm on my period, definitely James Bay. I'm a sucker for a good voice, and all of his songs are just so raw and real, and you can really feel the emotion in them, but they're all just so amazing in different ways. And I'm definitely someone where if I like a song, I will play it over and over again until I hate it, and maybe you guys are like that as well, but I have not gotten to the point of disliking any of James Bay's songs, and I've listened to all of them so many times, so definitely check them out if you're looking for some good music to jam out to. But that's pretty much it for my period video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely go ahead and check out the Clue app because it's great for tracking your period and very helpful, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!